engaged champions, it's just blocking that strategy completely.
Yeah, and it seems like the super tanks of the top lane are just not able to be picked here by Team 8 just because they just keep getting banned out. And there's the Gragas going immediately from Complexity as we do get into champion select.
So yep, Gragas being taken off the board. I would expect the exact same bans to come out of Complexity. Looking for a Maokai and an Alistair on their side.
Oh,
Tristana being taken off the board. Don't want to give that to Robert in his last game. Of course, we've heard so many times, Game 5, everything on the line. People like to go back to the default champions.
That's exactly right. Nidalee going to be taken off the board as well, Team 8. Do not want to see that again. And Alistair, I believe, will be what's taken off the board. Complexity. Going to get rid of that one.
Okay, so Zed or Ziggs? What do they take away?
Yeah, that's true. And
either way,
banned all day.
They're giving up a good first pick, although Slushy plays Ziggs as well. So do you leave them both open? Try and counter that split push with some nice wave clear and the ability to turtle.
Or do you throw out just a completely crazy ban and give yourself a lot more of an array of picks up here? Potentially. Morgana is going to be taken off the board, so the Bubadub's Morgana was ban-worthy, but Kaz has decided that Kha'Zix is what was making the difference.
Yeah, and I expect Porpoise Pops right now to pick up the Nocturne. He didn't have the best early game on that Nunu, and it just fell behind and out of control from there. I also don't think the Cali Trolls will be going back to a Katarina top lane. I don't actually think he was a problem. I think that if they had got into a mid game where their combo could be used, it would have been beneficial. However, they just weren't able to get themselves there. So look for him to pick up more of a tanky role I think his team needs. Lucian being hovered right now has been a contested pick all series.
He certainly has. We haven't seen Maple Street bring that out in the last few games. And Nami's available, but we've got Dodo opting to go for the Thresh instead, and I like this. Mixing it up, making sure they're trying something else. See whether the slightly more tanky, more CC bot of the support rather than the sustained version is going to work out. It's going to be the Wife Steal bot lane locked in for Team 8.
Okay, so the reason that Thresh is a good pickup here is because it has hard engage. It's a playmaking support, where Nami's reactionary, Thresh is very proactive. And Zyrene called it out on the analyst desk. Part of their problem was that they weren't able to make picks and make plays to get Katarina ahead. So with Thresh, they're able to do that.
Maybe not necessarily for a Katarina, but we'll see what happens. Slushy Ziggs is available. He can go back to his Orianna as well. We have seen him play well on that champion, of course, going 10, 1, and 11 in the first game. But it's going to be Syndra being hovered over here. Of course, Probably does have the option.
Let's talk about Complexity's 2 picks quickly. Going back to that Rise, they think that they have a nice top lane in that way. Yep. We saw the 2v1 turned into a 2v2 and he was able to get some farm under him, turned into that late game monster. More importantly, the curse is broken. Robert Exley has picked up a win.
Oh yeah, of course.
So he's picked that up again, looking to match mid-game power spikes with the Lucian. Long-range engage has been picked up in the form of Nocturne, as well as Syndra. They've got the making of a good pick comp.
And what happens now? Do we think that Bubadub might default back to a Braum pickup? And do we think Crowley's going to go for that potential Zed pick again? That is the question.
Yeah, I don't see why you change it whatsoever. I think Braum Zed is perfect, and they have locked it in. They've got a great 4-man team fight, and they've got a great 1-man split push.
Look at how chuffed Crowley is as well. It's like, yep, let's do the same thing again, boys.
And it will be... I want to see Slushy change over to an Exhaust. The reason being, Ignite is very important on Syndra, but we just saw that without an Exhaust for the Rise and
well, we saw Pobelter manage to pull off the 1v2 with that Exhaust onto Zed.
Yeah, exactly right. So with the Exhaust, he's going to be able to stop a lot of the burst damage. There's one for a Rise, one for a Zed. If it does go to the ultra late game, we have one team fight. Let's make a deciding factor of this game. They can shut down both carries quite hard. And I just think the way the lane's been going, Slushy hasn't been in a position to pick up the solo kills much. And Malphite being locked in on the side of Cali Trolls.
Going for it again.
He has
and
faith
actually, I was wrong. There was an Ignite in that 1v2. I just got a little bit ahead of myself. But so far it is going to be Ignite sat on as well. But do you think that it was the Nidalee that made this Malphite pickup not work? That's the question.
No, I think it was just the ability for a split pusher to draw him around the map. So I think that Zed will have the exact same effect, make it so he's trapped under turret all game, has to pick his moments to teleport, and when he does, he's just going to lose objectives for it. So unless they can find a way to match the mid-game split push out of Prolly, perhaps by getting Maple Street ahead, or by ganking him with the Malphite as well as the Nocturne, then they have the exact same problem that they've had for the last 2 games.
Yeah, and I really like the Corky Braum pickup as well, because it was actually called out on Twitter by Doublelift, I believe, saying that the Lucian Thresh lane, not actually that much of a big deal.
Yeah, he said they don't have great synergy together.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. The double shot, the light slinger passive that goes on with Braum makes Lucian much more of a threat in the lane.
Yeah.
However, you can't underestimate the individual characters and their ability to make plays in the mid game. So maybe look for a lane swap, get them into an area where it doesn't even matter whether they synergize well 2v2, and then allow teammates to make plays and move in to the late game.
But it all comes down to this 5th and final game. Who do you think will earn a spot in the North American LCS? Tweet #COLWin or #T8win to LOL Esports, and we'll tally your votes in just a bit. My good, again, another 5-game series, back-to-back today. If you're still watching, guys, thank you so much, because it's been such a long day, and we appreciate everyone for sticking around. Of course, Complexity now on the blue side. And Team 8 trying to find a win, trying to break the 3-game winner's curse. Or not necessarily a curse if it's good, because you're winning, but they're trying to break their curse this stage.
They're trying to win the 5th game, I think, is what we're trying to say, as we see the fan out along the river.
All right. Oh, first damage hasn't gone down yet. We'll see who manages to draw first blood. But so far, very defensive. Oh, nailed it. Okay. Team 8, definitely in the lead at this stage. So, gonna break the curse. Not bad. Westrise moving down. Has used his Trinket Ward
30 seconds
at the 1 minute mark.
Spawn.
Porpoise Pops, the Dustbringer yet again. So, first time that we've seen Porpoise Pops' Nocturne. Very much a fan of it. He does love playing that champion. Does build on Feral Flare, if I remember correctly. Even now, in its current state.
Yeah, I think Feral Flare is still a great pickup on Nocturne. Allows him to go tanky after that and still be able to deal out some damage and put the map on farm quite well. It also just fits Nocturne's playstyle, because as a Nocturne, you want to be able to clear your camps, wait for your ultimate to be up, then gank every single time your ultimate's up.
Yep.
Because it's just such a good tool for denying vision and coming through lanes. So by picking up the Feral Flare, you allow yourself to have all this downtime to farm, whereas with the other jungle items, you have to clear 2 camps and then try and do something else. So it just fits the way that Nocturne is currently being played, and we're seeing the same invade strategy, and it has been spotted this time.
Yeah, we do have, of course, the bottom lane from Complexity coming around here. This blue buff has been started up, but it'll reset. Team 8 going to opt out of it at this stage. Pops over on his blue buff. Be able to secure that one, no worries at all. Bubba wasn't there this time. We've got the teleport into the bottom lane, which is in fact empty for Westrise. Cali Trolls can head down there as well. Look at that. Ha ha ha. Now we're in here. It's fine. The 1v1 has been established. Advantage Westrise, though, managed to pick up 3 creeps. See whether that's going to work out for him. That slight little experience lead, meaning that he'll hit level 2 first.
And wow, Slushie going aggressive.
Level 2. Oh, Duck Sphere again. Slushie putting the pressure down. Team 8, the fire has not gone out, and now Complexity managing to pull it all the way back, 83%. And that vote has been swinging so much today.
It's because it's such a tight game. We've seen that both teams, if they play their style, look like they're just going to win from start to finish. However, now we have a slightly different team comp coming out on the side of Team 8. More pick-orientated with the Thresh and the Syndra, able to ult in there as well.
And they can easily, far more easily, force engages with this team comp as well. They have sort of, especially 2 abilities that can really get things going from long distance away. Death Sentence does come down, Unbreakable from Bubba. Going to make sure that they do fine in that trade. Absolutely fine, actually. That phosphorus bomb is brilliant. Oh, nice stun onto Prolly from Slushie, and he's having a much better time on this Syndra.
Yeah, Syndra, the lane bully, just able to put so much more pressure down onto the melee champion. looking to push this lane completely in, and is the dive coming out here? Porpoise Pop's hanging around.
Yeah, Kez has gone up. He's hanging around, but gonna run into one another.
Drive by Kez.
Yep, Kez gonna win. Stage. Ooh, probably gonna get stunned once more, gets a ball thrown in his face as well. Level 4 has been hit by Slush. He's running low on mana, but definitely controlling this wave and has that ignite ready. I mean, if he lands another stun combo, like, probably he's dead.
Yeah, especially with the the way the lane's going, he's just bullying him around. As we see, coL's just slapping Westrice in the head at the moment. Yeah, those auto attacks starting to do some work.
Rune Prison probably available, except that he doesn't have any mana anymore now that he's thrown out that Q. Still not too worried. They're just sort of smacking each other around. It's fine.
Yeah, and Westrice, of course, as the Reign champion, always has that option of just backing away from the creep wave, letting it push into him, and picking it up under turret. So I don't think there's much kill potential in that lane. And the mid lane is where the CS discrepancy is. 14 in the lead of Slushy, so great start to the game.
Yeah, teammate really changing it around. Ooh, Phosphorus Bomb doing a lot of work on the Maple Street. And a half health, forced to use that one potion that he does have. Of course, Robert X. Lee has already used his, so far a lot of skirmishing here in this top lane. Level 4 hit by Complexity. Now, teammate as well. So, very even across the board. 6.6k. Winters Bite doesn't land. So, let's take stock. What's going to be the first point of contention on this map?
Well, by the way this series has been going, it will be the Dragon. That will be the first thing. Unless...
Oh my goodness, that was close.
A godly hook lands. Yeah, they're both looking to... The way these teams play, they like to control vision. They like to get their teleports in, try and flake the enemy, and then set up either a pick if you're Complexity, or a massive team fight if your teammate, and just brawl and pick up the Dragon.
Yep.
What Complexity's been aiming to do, and what they will probably continue to do, is avoid those situations, control the area with wards, and then look to split push with this set in the mid lane. However, the more he gets bullied, the longer they can slow that down, because obviously at this point in the game, his split push isn't going to be as effective as it would be if he had that Blade of the Ruined King, that Brutalizer built up into what he likes to turn initially into a Ghost Blade. So keeping Prolly down is key for making sure that their team fights and picks are successful.
He's going to land that stun combo, but Kez is now here. Does manage to land a couple of slows. Slushy going to use that flash in order to get to safety, but successful gank from Kez.
And in the perfect timing there, Slushy's just hit level 6 and Prolly's not that far behind him. Missed out on a wave and a half, I think, when he did have to back. And Porpoise Pops is in the side here. Ooh, he's been spotted out.
Yeah, he's going to get the... Oh my goodness. A very decent spell shield coming from Porpoise Pops. I think it stopped the leap damage. Bit cute. But does get out of there with his life. Of course, the slow is going to miss to the side. Oh, Westrice is actually teleported. I mean, just gone back to base. We're fine.
A little bit of a raised eyebrow from coL there. He thought he got the damage off in time on the play.
I thought he did too. That's why I thought it was a teleport. Very strange. But
nice piercing light coming through. And coL, he looks like he has a CS discrepancy, but look how big the wave is in his bottom lane. He just left and checked the Dragon. A lot of that will go to waste now, but the wave is pushing in his favor. So he did have, whilst the CS discrepancy is there, he's able to pick up a lot of this farm whilst Westrice has gone back to base. Of course, he did already buy.
Yep. And probably now only 10 CS behind. Of course, did make it back to about 3 CS behind as he shoved that into the turret, but Slushy managed to get there. There's no worries at all.
And now that Prolly's level 6, Slushy cannot hang around in this lane. Needs to go back. Ooh, hook just missing onto Robert.
Very, very scary.
You just feel like the game at the moment is on a knife edge. As soon as you blink, like, one team's just going to go crazy.
It's exactly
We're all getting to the point where, like, level 6 is now picked up by Porpoise Pops as well.
Oh, and Kez.
Kez got that in his red bar.
Equally as important,
yeah,
but
got
that
the
paranoia.
On his W, but the way that Porpoise plays the Nocturne, he's waiting for that, and wouldn't be surprised if he heads bottom lane and looks to get coL, the shot caller for his team, into the game with a nice Nocturnal.
That's exactly right. Of course, coL having a much better time this time. You know, only 2 CS down. Does have that challenge, which is going to really help him against Westrice on this rise. So I believe that he can definitely be more of a force. And Last game wasn't as impactful. See whether he's pulled it together and can really make those calls for his team, because they're relying on him.
Do you think he can become an unstoppable force?
I think that he can probably use an unstoppable force.
As we see, all the lanes just calmly farming out. Nocturne hasn't used his ultimate yet. He's going for a tanky build, so he's gone away from the Feral Flare. He's looking to pick up the extra ward from the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Picked up that Quill Coat, I believe it's called.
That is called the Quill Coat, you are correct. Well played, sir. Of course, he's going to try and build up to that item as soon as possible. Fear Tether is going to not proc on Kez, just leaps out of the way. Dustbringer does mean that he has that trail of cloud behind him. Astraz does manage to get the cannon creep. Always satisfying to see. Cops a shard of rock into his behind, but that's okay. It's going to be more than okay. A level 8 hit first up here for Westrise in front of Cali Trolls. As we can see, Prolly doing a lot better in this mid lane.
Yeah, now that he's got some extra points into that queue, able to clear the wave out. Blue buff, of course, helping that situation as well. Ooh, however, as we say that,
there's the paranoia.
Oh, he's blocked it.
Get out of it, but there's the Fear Tether. Is the Ignite going to be enough? I don't think so. Prolly.
Those mechanics, using his ultimate to block the complete Syndra ultimate, getting back to his shadow before the fear goes off.
That was 16 HP.
Take a bow, sir. That was amazing.
And Winter's Bite not going to land here. Nice play to make Bubba take a tower shot. Teammate still going to back away from this one. Of course, Robert Exley at full health on this Corki. And that is something that we've mentioned before, is the fact that when it's a Zed versus Syndra matchup, it's whoever ults first often has a bit of a trouble, because you can just dodge the entire Syndra ult if you are that Zed. I guess if you manage to do it quickly enough, you can do it while he's stunned, but I mean, that's your only option.
Yeah, but having the presence of mind to turn back into a gank, to ult
to
drop damage is just, it's pretty good play. As we see,
I'm not arguing. It was definitely a good play.
As we see top lane being pushed in, they will look for their first back at this point, look to swap their lanes back, because the teleports are up from the top laners. And Dragon is all important at this 11-minute mark, so potentially this will be the first big fight we will see out of these teams, and this could dictate the flow of the rest of the game.
Yep, Slushy is going to have his ultimate up before Prolly does, but of course Prolly only with a quarter of that cooldown remaining, and does have his Ignite. Of course, Slushy does not. Slushy's flash just about to come back up.
Prolly's elected away from the Brutalizer this game. Instead, he will be going for that Hex Drinker. Needs the extra shield he deals against the aggressive Syndra. And he's picked up his Cutlass, so we'll still stick to that Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, wants to make sure that he has a little bit of extra sustain and, of course, the burst damage on top of that Death Mark. But we do have Teammate going for an early Dragon.
Been spotted out by a ward.
Complexity do know that it's there. It's going down very, very low, though. Corpus Pops is right in there. Oh, my... Yes, he does manage to take it. Oh, there's the teleport coming in from Westrise, though. Is he going to be able to get here in time? The slow was on Dodo, but hasn't quite got there. There is the brilliant Dark Passage.
Oh, the slow onto two members, and the teleport coming in slightly late from West. They had vision of it the whole time, just not able to get there.
Yeah, Kez not quite getting around there in time with the Smite available. But Complexity just losing the Dragon is going to only mean 1,000 gold difference. There is a chance for these guys still. Don't worry about that. One Dragon, though. It's going to mean Teammate.
And Kez has caught Corpus Pop.
Does manage to block out the slow. There's the Dark Passage as well, but Robert Exley's here. Is he going to be able to get it? There's the flash. First blood going to Robert Exley, but he's not finished yet. Dodo goes down. That's the double kill. And Maple Street left alone under his turret, wondering where all his friends went.
And swinging around straight away to pick up this blue buff steal as well. That will go out onto Robert, giving him even more pressure in this lane with two components of his Triforce already finished up. With that double kill, you would think he is not far off grabbing what could be a 13-minute Trinity Force.
That is terrifying. Of course, the ultimate being popped by Westrise does get ground pounded just a little bit by Cali Trolls.
How do you get ground pounded a little bit?
I'm not entirely sure. I think you get on the edge of said ground pound. I don't know. It didn't do very much damage, so I assume it was a little bit.
And we see that once again, after some aggression, lane's completely reset, back to farming, and there's 200 gold advantage in the favor of Complexity, but 2 kills onto Robert with that Trinity Force now finished up against a BF and a pickaxe. He might be able to start bullying this Lucian around in lane.
Not to mention people around the map, of course. This is a massively early Trinity Force power spike, and if you can translate that into advantages, things will be fantastic here for Complexity.
However, it must be said, Malphite having a much better game in this top lane. Up 10 CS, of course, because of that teleport that went a little bit awry from Westrise. And mid lane, Slushy turning around 20 CS advantage over proly. And we've seen that he has been able to be aggressive in this lane.
coL might be in a little bit of trouble, but of course that Unstoppable Force, fantastic if you're getting ganked under a turret.
And Paranoia is still available, and you just have to be so careful diving if there is a Nocturne on the map.
Oh, yeah.
The Denial of Vision is the first thing that it brings, but then also the long-range engage, just being able to get out of the fog of war to help an ally out, just means that diving is not generally a great idea.
Not at all. Slushy now, very low on mana, does not have the Chalice yet, which is probably why. They're low on mana, probably. Hanging up pretty far up, knows that there's not many opportunities for Slushy to really get much down, but could imagine that that Chalice is probably coming through relatively soon, unless he really wants to put the pressure down by getting an endlessly large rod and potentially going in for an early death by grasp. He is going to do exactly that, so opting out of effective wave clear into massive burst.
Yeah, looking to be the answer to this Zed. However, we've already seen that Proly can dodge out on a lot of the damage.
There's the Root Prison as well. Kez pops his ultimate, but very low on mana at this stage. Doesn't have the Void Spikes. Really unfortunate. Going to back in this brush. coL going to put a ward in there, just stop the back. Bit cheeky.
And look how calm coL is when he's getting ganked. Knew he didn't have to flash, so he just walked away. Didn't pop his ultimate either. So completely level-headed in that. His teleport's still available. He can go back after he pushes the next wave. Lose out on absolutely nothing. And there is a ward behind Complexity's bottom lane. So keep an eye on that one. If coL pushes this out, goes back, there is a potential for a gank.
Yeah, it does of course have that giant spell. Maybe moving up to that Sunfire Cape yet again. Teammate wanting to make a bit of a play here, cleaning out a pink ward is Swaps. And this is exactly where they want to put the pressure on as well, because Robert Exley has a whole massive chunk of Complexity's gold.
Okay, so he picks up his Sunfire Cape. He's going for the exact same build with the Magic Penetration into the Sunfire Cape.
Yep, and he's a lot tankier now as well. Not necessarily being able to mitigate Westrise as much, but he can clear out these waves a little bit quicker. Does a little bit more damage as well while he's in amongst everything. And Westrise just zapping this turret. Just a little bit.
And the lanes are so equal. Now it looks like coL has jumped out to about a 12 CS advantage. However, the lead mid lane has been taken back down. Bottom lane is completely equalized, 151 to 154. Across the map, such an even game at 17 minutes. 100 gold separates the two teams in what is the deciding match of this best of 5.
Yeah, and the change is that Dragon going to teammate, 2 kills going on to Robert Exley, and he has shown that he's definitely a carry for his team. So we'll see whether that makes the difference, or whether just getting the extra global gold for everyone is what's going to make it work, because this Trinity Force, as we can see, hasn't made all that much of an impact just yet.
Yeah, Robert taking some damage in the bottom lane. Dragon is about to spawn in half a minute, so both teams trying to get some positioning advantages. Kez able to clear that out. Death by Firegrass picked up on the side of Syndra. That is so huge, going to be able to erase someone in the potential dragon fight coming up.
And that's 16 seconds. Probably is going to try and get to the dragon as it does spawn, but he might be a little bit late. Of course, he finishes up a Blade of the Ruined King, so that's 2 big item spikes for both of these mid laners. They might just kill each other. It might just be a 4v4 in the end, because they've just killed each other.
Yeah, I think it's more important at this point of the game to blow up Robert as they start the dragon.
Yeah, Pops. Starting this one off, of course. A bit of sustain, but he's taking a fair bit of damage.
This might be the second untested dragon.
Just decisive play, and they pick up the objective. Complexity wanted to contest that, but they just weren't able to. Death Sentence lands onto Kez, and that's just to secure their own blue buff. Team 8, they weren't rattled by the fact that they're 2 wins down, and I think they might break the curse.
Yeah, they're definitely looking strong. They've picked up 2 dragons at this point, taking the gold advantage back. However, that will be equalized if they manage to pick up this turret, which they don't. So good, successful turret defense. And once again, more pressure being put in this top lane, but Westrice now is looking
Doesn't have a lot of mana left. Of course, has a deceivingly large mana pool. So, you know, maybe we'll be able to throw out a couple more spells than you'd otherwise think. They're just going to wander around each other. Prolly's now here in the top lane. Deathmark does come down onto coL. See whether it's going to be enough. There's the flash coming in afterwards. coL is going to die. Westrice picks up that kill and a little help from his friends. They are going to be able to get a lot of damage down to this turret as well. And look, Westrice had already pushed this one through.
Yeah, so they'll be able to take down the turret, equalize the gold. It will actually swing back in their favor now. Backping's coming out, playing this extremely safely. And great rotation from Prolly, helping out his top laner. That gets Westrice a kill. And once again,
gets him into it as well.
Across the whole board, the CS is so equal. This game is so close.
It's ridiculous. Now 2 dragons though. And Complexity focusing on killing their enemies. It seems to be working out though.
But more importantly, they turn those kills into damage on the turrets.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, the top turret did go down.
Yeah, and the mid turret is so close. It's on a slither of health. This bottom turret, not much healthier. So as soon as they get 1-1 team fight, they're going to be able to race around this whole map and clean up what could be potentially a lot of gold.
A lot of God could be cleaned up. Not entirely sure what that means, but... And it's also going to open up that map, and we know that Complexity love to get deep vision. They love to be able to create these picks, and with a Rune Prison available, and of course Robert Exley with so much burst on top of Prolly's burst as well. And they may as well just like took a couple of auto attacks on it. Westrice is going to tank up that turret, and that's going to be an easy second outer turret, and Complexity again creating the advantages for themselves.
However, Prolly in this bottom lane against 2, looking to defend off the turret. Gank is coming down the river. However, has been spotted out.
Yeah, okay, it's going to come through. It's going to mean that Prolly at least has safe time farming, despite the fact that they're not going to be able to get any kills. Westrice comes up, pops that ultimate, and easily clears out this wave as well. So he came down, helped pick up the mid lane turret, and then doesn't get punished for it. Prolly once more hiding in a brush. This time hasn't been spotted. Oh, there's the shadow. Oh, Descent's going to land on the Prolly here as well. Is he going to be able to make some work happen? He does have the death mark. That is so much damage. Switching to the other shadow as well. Is Maple Street going to go down? No! Outplayed. Maple Street manages to kite him around, and Prolly was so close.
Yeah, nearly picking up the 2v1 kill. The exhaust out of Dodo was so imperative to that fight. As Bubba up, nice shield up, just in case the ultimate did come through from Slushy there. However, now the mid turret is in danger of being taken.
Yeah, nice big one. Decent phosphorus bomb, and just the wave clear coming from Cork is just silly.
Yeah, Malphite now looking to the flank over the side. coL looking to get involved.
Yeah, coL actually pops the unstoppable force. Robert Exley going down so low. There's the Glacial Fissure though, and a really nice flash over the thick part of the wall. Is going to get Robert Exley to safety. coL
Westrice is behind them now, looking to get involved.
Look at the amount of damage. Does get stunned up there a little bit, but it's going to be Slushy falling down. Westrice might answer as well. coL picks up that kill. Bump it up now so low. Death Sentence lands on him. The fear tether's there, but no, he's not dead just yet. Robert Exley's back in. He's got barely any health. Oh my goodness, that play. Kaz gets the reset though. Porpoise Pops is so low. Maple Street on full health. Prolly picks up the kill. What a shuriken from the backside. And Complexity playing with such little health bars. 1 for 3.
Able to turn that around. Some over-aggression on the side of Team 8, just sticking around in the wrong side of the jungle for a little bit too long. Doesn't lead to any objectives on the map, but getting something like that turned around, and as we take another look, coL wanted this pink ward and thought with the Paranoia ultimate could burst down Robert, but a nice flash out just means that now they're stuck on the wrong side of the map. Great rotation down from Westrice, flashes over the wall, and the exhaust in this fight is key. There it is, just before the ultimate, mitigating some of the damage. And from here, it's just a battle of the low health bars. They're like, should we go, shouldn't we go? Another flash is burnt. The play that comes out right now is massive. However, the spike's still able to hit. Prolly gets the last Q onto Porpoise Pops, able to pick up the 3-for-1 trade. And overall, just great awareness of how much damage was going to come out of the players on Team 8's side.
Incredibly well played from Complexity's side, but You have to admit, that was on a knife edge. These team fights could go either way. Do have Glacial Shroud being finished up here by coLTrolls. Wants to maximize as much armor as he can, of course, instead here. But here's the team fight breaking out the box, comes down, Bob It Up gets taken down solo, but Kaz gets obliterated. Team 8 with an easy 2 kills. This is the pick potential of this team comp.
Yeah, and only 10 seconds till Dragon. They'll be able to pick up the middle turret, rotate down to Dragon, pick themselves up 2 objectives, and a handy lead.
Yep, they are answering Complexity's good play with another one and actually getting further ahead on this. Because, of course, it was evened up almost exactly now. 500 gold ahead. Now, with the Dragon, even more. Dodo going to clear out this pink ward. Just going to man the fort while the team takes the Dragon. Probably in the bottom lane. That outer turret potentially getting taken down low, but coLTrolls is there. So, protection around the map. Team 8, 3 for 3 on Dragons. And that is how they won the first game, almost entirely.
Yeah, this is the team fight comp from Team 8 coming out. They overstayed the last team fight, but this time able to pick up some kills. And I think it's because Maple Street was there, Infinity Edge and Zeal. He's pumping out so much damage on Lucian. Just key for his team. When they were playing well, he was going off.
He certainly was.
He needs to get back to that.
Being finished already is ridiculous. But 2-0 onto Robert. He didn't even die in that fight. He got taken down solo. So might still be able to make something happen. Entirely sure. But these AD carries are so close right now.
Red Buff is going over onto Maple Street, and they're looking to once again try and shut down coLTrolls even further. He's got some armor now. I don't know whether it will be such an easy kill. Flash and ultimate both up, and there's
Paranoia coming down in the mid lane. Robert actually takes a culling. Nice dodge of the death sentence, and he's just sort of puttering out of the way quickly. Is he gonna? No, the Dustbringer is gonna come through. There's the scrying all coming down. Is the Fear Tether gonna proc? Yes, it is. Death sentence for the last hit as well. Dodo picks up that kill. Probably death marks coLTrolls, but that's not exactly the target he wants. Of course, so much armor now built up on this Malphite. This is a very, very different top laner than was in the last game that we saw a Malphite.
Definitely is able to pick up another unanswered kill and pushing in on this middle lane. Not much wave clear around, and they'll be able to pick this one up, it looks like.
And this is Team 8 just saying, yes, we've got the better team fight now. Let's just make the plays happen. And they're doing it. They're creating these leads. Look at this. It's almost 4,000 gold out of almost nowhere. That was a fantastic couple of picks, and they're so good at translating that into leads everywhere around the map. Probably now in a bit of trouble. coLTrolls gets jumped on, but is this exactly what he wants? Because T8's just around the corner.
Yeah, and they've pushed that wave into the turret. They'll be able to pick up another tower kill. Only the top lane outer left up. And that's even more gold for the whole lineup. Team 8 really rolling in the last game of this best of 5.
They certainly are. Turning it around, and that's so difficult. This is a challenger team, you know. They're not exactly the veterans that Complexity are, of course. Talking about Westeros and things like that, playing since Season 1, and they haven't been playing together for as long, and they're coming back. The morale from these guys is amazing.
Yeah, they look like they're in complete control of this game. Now the Frozen Fist is picked up on coLTrolls in the top lane. More tank items coming out from Porpoise Pop, so he's just looking to be that beefy frontliner for his team. And when you look down the line, you can see why. Wow, look at that gold differential by minute. It's just exploded.
Because it was so close. We can see that represented. Slight gold leads sort of dipping when dragons were taken, and then made up for by Complexity. This time, it hasn't happened. Team 8 seem to be really streaming ahead. But, you know, what we said was a 4,000 gold lead is now 3.5. We shall see. Of course, Westeros now getting a bit of damage down to coLTrolls. Might be able to even up some turrets here. Might picking this one up in the bottom lane, but no.
And with the double armor items being finished on Cali's, Westeros is so much better at 1v1ing at this point in the game. Looking to put Crowley in the mid lane.
Covered up. Break trying to protect this turret, but it's not going to work. Kez going to have to pop that ultimate. Oh, here's the home guard teleport coming in. Unstoppable force onto 2 members. Kez and Bobbit up instantly gets stunned as well. The combos are here, and so much CC available from Team 8. Easily being able to lock up these kills. And this is the Team 8 that we saw in the first 2 games.
Yeah, it's so decisive coming out of coLTrolls. sprinting into that fight.
Oh, but they might answer with 2 inner turrets here. Of course, Westrice and Proly split pushing like crazy. But this inhibitor might go down. Look at these guys, 5 members strong.
They definitely will lose the inhibitor here. Even if the members do get back, well, at least the inhibitor turret. Westrice is now in there looking to get someone locked down.
Yeah, the box has been put down just to zone the members of Complexity away. Rubberdeck probably doesn't want to be up that far, and Bubba now up again, but missing out on all 3 top lane turrets is probably not worth it when neither of those inners went down.
And now 6,000 gold lead, doubling their gold lead in one decisive move, and the base has been breached. At any point, if they lose a team fight, with the amount of damage coming out of Maple Street, with now picking up another BF sword, he's just going to crush through structures and be so hard to deal with.
Wow.
And the desperation of Baron coming out of Complexity.
Our teammate are still around, of course. Slushie not that close.
They haven't pulled off.
Pops coming through here. Doesn't have Paranoia available. They're going to come around through, but Westrice immediately gets exhausted. Probably takes Maple Street out of this fight straight away. That's 2 kills already. Robin Exley takes down Dodo. Slushie now gets locked up. Cali Trolls and Pops the only ones alive. The reset's coming through for Kaz. Winter's Bite not going to land, but that is only 2 members alive, and they'll happily trade the 3 for 2. This game's not over.
Porpoise Pop still extremely strong.
And there it is, the unstoppable force coming through. Kez freaking out, not quite making the leap. Westrice, though, trying to turn it around in his head. 1 available, evening out the trade, and these teams are so close.
Yeah, this is a crazy game, 4 for 4. Nothing coming from it in the end, but what a brawl. Complexity start up the Desperation Baron, and they look like they're not going to pull off it, but straight away Westrice, as soon as he sees Maple Street, goes over the wall. Deathmark comes through and destroys him. However, the ultimate onto Proly means that he's not long for the world either, and Slushie, poor guy, now stuck by himself, flashes over the wall, picks up a kill, and from here we see that it's just a nice ability to kite from Cali Trolls until his cooldowns are back up. He runs around the wall, there's a ward in the brush,
just
straight back over, ultimate, picks up Bubba. Kez, unfortunately, as we see
Dodo getting deathmarked up here. Proly does end up going back to his shadow, but not going to be able to pick up the kill just yet. Stun onto Westrice. This team's so keen on fighting each other. Of course, Kez coming up through the backside. Cali Trolls, the same story. A quarter of the cooldown is available. Bubba gets stunned up. There's the Dustbringer as well. The Fear Tether coming down. The Death Sentence as well. Bubba dies. Robert Exley gets ultimate. Look at that damage. Cali Trolls going to be able to pick that one. Oh no, Slushie secures the kill. Westrice, where are you going, mate? I don't know whether this is exactly the right direction. The stun, just the tip. Fantastic work. He's taking him on a wild goose chase. I'll give you that one. He tries to turn around to get the damage onto Maple, but not quite going to do it. And Cali Trolls clearing out this mid lane in the meantime. Proly walking through here. That's a 3 for nothing. Team 8 just picking up the kills.
Yeah, much more decisive fight coming out, and that was without Cali Trolls' ultimate.
Yeah.
So able to get a 3 for nothing, looking now to pick up a Baron, although we've seen this get stolen away before today, not even going for it. So Complexity seeding another objective. Don't want to throw the game here. This will be nearly a 10,000 gold lead with the Baron buff and a potential Dragon still on the board. Teammate is fantastic.
Yep. This could be the turnaround. 2-2-1 would ruin the entire pattern, to be honest. But teammate so desperate to get into this LCS, and people were saying teammate were the scariest team. They were expecting them to do this, but Complexity showed an amazing couple of games coming through here. I don't think they're out of the fight just yet, even though it's looking very dire.
Yeah, they're looking to just stall it out, get Proly into that top lane now, pick up potentially a Dragon against the flow, just to secure some global gold for his team. And he will be able to pick it up. So still nice map movements coming out of the Complexity lineup. There's a Baron on their opposition. Now they need to stall.
They're going to try and do exactly that. Cali Trolls has now finished off his Abyssal Scepter. He has so much extra magic penetration. It's ridiculous. Hasn't decided to go for the Haunting Guys yet, or those Sorcerer's Shoes. But he's definitely doing a lot of work. And if he Unstoppable Forces into a team fight, and Slushie ultimates, that's so much extra damage because of that Abyssal Scepter aura being everywhere.
Yeah, and his Home Guards sorry, he has home guards on his boots and he teleports back up, meaning that he can look for another flank, look for Dodo to get some deep wards into their, into near the entrances of the base. So if they do decide that they want to go, coleTrolls can just teleport in and absolutely crush once again with his ultimate. But Slushy has turned his performance around after having a very rough game last game. As we said, 6.4 thousand gold behind. He's now come out with a 4-2-6 Syndra and looked fantastic as Prolly's been collapsed on. Yeah, we do have the fear tether coming through as well. Prolly gets feared up. Not sure whether this is going to quite be enough, but the stress the teammate come round from behind. Deathmark's going to be used just for fun. He's going to get caught, and that's exactly what you do. You collapse onto the split pusher. Yeah, and it looks like this might be the answer into the base because, of course, that inhibitor turret was destroyed earlier. So pushing through to pick up the first inhibitor of the game, and Westrice is being chased by coleTrolls in the mid lane. Yeah, that's going to mean that it's a 4v3 here at this inhibitor. Teammate are going to be able to easily secure that one. The teleport out here from Westrice, and that was after the unstoppable force. So intelligent move by Westrice to save his life. Oh, there's the death sentence on to buff it up. The unbreakable is actually breakable in this instance. Kez does get a nice W down, but it's a little bit after the fact. Robert Exley gets stunned up, but teammate do not want it. And Slushy looks on point on this Syndra. Oh, yeah. Two-man stun into another stun. Maple Street picking up the kill, I believe. 5-1 and 8 now. They're just completely rolling, and we've said it before, once teammate get in front, they play so decisively and so well that it's just nigh impossible to stop them, particularly when they have such a strong team fighting comp. That's exactly right. Now 11,000 gold in the lead. This inner turret is going to go down in super creeps pouring into the base via that top wave. Of course, Prolly now trying to clear that one out. coleTrolls more than happy to tank this turret for quite a while, actually. It's down to about 2/3 health, but stun's not going to land just yet, and teammate keep up the siege. The Baron buff still on another minutes or so. It's nearly expired. They're waiting for the super minions in the top lane to push into the base. Looking to see if they can get a second inhibitor turret. 12,000 gold, the lead. Next wave of creeps comes through. There's Maple Street. Oh, there's the teleport actually onto the minion. Dude managed to secure that base, and there's the paranoia coming through. Westrice has been singled out, and he's going to get feared up. Maple Street's there for the damage, not going to be able to make it to the land, but there it is coming straight in. There's the unstoppable force. Robert Exley and Kez getting locked up from that one straight away. That was insane. Takes the land into the... Robert Exley gets caught. There's the death sentence. That was huge. Dodo is a beast. The second inhibitor is going to go down. And teammate, what an amazing team fight. Yeah, this will be the game here. 40 seconds death time is only Kazik and the Brahma up there crushing down these inhibitor turrets. Teammate are going into the LCS. Teammate have broken the cycle. They're going to get into the LCS with some incredible team fight play. Look at them go. They are so excited. What a phenomenal 5-game series. This was ridiculous. I can't find words. That last home guard into the middle of the fight. What a fitting way to end this series with the huge unstoppable force. You hear the crowd going nuts for the challenger team. I'm excited to watch them play. They're such a fun team. Exactly right. Maple Street is going to be so happy to be back for the LCS as well. Was in for a split with Velocity, but now gets to come through, and I'm so excited to see Slushy play some more because he has shown so much hardened style. He got wrecked in the game. He did, but came back so strong on this Syndra and just put it to Prolly on the champion that he was just destroyed by. It was just fantastic to see someone with that much mental fortitude. Yeah, and willing to let the Zed go back through and just trust in his ability to win it. You see how high the potential is out of this team. Love you too, buddy. It does raise the question about coleTrolls, though. Certainly does. Certainly does. We'll see whether he does head into the LCS or whether he goes back to school. And of course, you have to give it up for Complexity, putting on a great 5-game show. Oh, yeah. And we're going to see them. We're going to see them in a couple of weeks, so it'll be fine. That's not the last hope just yet. Expansion tournament, always a possibility.
But my goodness, Team 8 playing such a fantastic last game after 2 brilliant wins very early on. And unfortunately for Complexity, they weren't able to do the 3 games in a row. But man, that last game was so, so good.
And the thing I love about Team 8 is they play it like a team sport. They don't treat it like, oh, there's weak links in our team. They're just happy when they pick team fighting comps, listen to their captain, and then follow him in as a 5-man group. They're at their best when they're as a team. And everyone chips in, from the wards to the picks coming through. They play it so well, and they definitely deserve to be in.
They certainly do. And coL, I mean, picking up the Magi's very late in the last game when things weren't going so well. Thought that maybe wasn't feeling the best. And then coming back with this performance.